ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति पाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्। So we are all used to going for parties, birthday party and all kinds of parties, New Year party, birthday party, especially birthdays. And nowadays on social media also you can have your, if you have your profile and you have put in your birth date, you don't need to remember nowadays. Automatically from your account it will go to everybody. Whoever is on your contact list, whoever birthday is, birthday wishes will go. So olden times you had to remember, then call up that person, wish him, and that person, when you wish him happy birthday, where is the party? Birthday means party has to be there, not just wishing. Nowadays it's all changed. Olden days, if somebody is birthday and he doesn't give a party, everybody will be annoyed with him. So when you say birthday party, you meet the birthday boy, birthday girl, they would have taken bath and worn fresh clothes, gone to the temple, looking very radiant. This is how normally birthday boys and girls are. So today, what we witnessed just now are the birthday personalities. Prabhupada, Gaur Nitai, Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama, Krishna Balram is their birthday today. So we are having a party today for them. So just now they had a bath, and their bathing is not like our bathing. We will go just put water and put some artificial soap and come. For them bath means sandalwood oil has to be there, sandalwood paste has to be there, and fresh flowers have to be there, and honey, ghee, and milk and curds, all kinds of exotic things are required for them. Then only they'll feel, okay, we had a good bath now. So that's technically called Abhishekam. When we say Abhisheka, Abhisheka means there are Panchagavya, all the cow products, ghee, butter, curds, milk, and then cow urine. All these products have to be there to complete an Abhishekam. This shows the importance of cows in the Vedic society. Actually, the importance of cows cannot be understated. In fact, for a human being, for good development of his brain, and according to modern medical terms, if you need vitamin B12 and you need calcium for the bones, etc., cow's milk is essential. Without cow's milk, human beings, proper development cannot happen. So not only the physical health, even if you have to understand spiritual subject matter, if you want to understand philosophy, the cow's milk is very essential. If you drink cow's milk, the finer tissues in the brain will get developed and you will be able to comprehend and understand philosophy. Otherwise, you speak about you're not the body, you're spirit, soul, it will all be very tough to understand. So, Prabhupada gave an example that modern civilization, because they do not understand the importance of the cow, they have become very gross. They become so gross, they want to cut the animals and eat them. So you want to drink the blood of the cow. If you drink the cow milk, what is the cow milk? It is the refined blood of the cow. So it is a refined way, without harming the animal, to drink the cow's milk is nothing but transformed blood of the cow. So you are not harming the cow, you are not killing it, but you are drinking cow's milk, and at the same time it's nourishing you, it is nourishing for your intelligence, it is very good for your memory. in every way it is helpful. So Krishna, he is known as Namo Brahmanye Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Krishna is very dear to cows, and the cows are very dear to Krishna. So Krishna wants to demonstrate the importance of cows in the Vedic society. So whenever he has to take a bath, he will use all cow products, milk, curds, ghee, everything has to be there. And then only, so this is the way we have to understand the importance of cows in the Vedic society. In fact, even in farming, once I had gone to one very rural area in Uttar Pradesh. I was in Vrindavan for so many years. So during that time, I used to travel a lot around Braj region. So once I had gone to very interior portion, very rural area, complete village portion. So there I was talking to one of the local farmers, and I was asking him that how do they do farming and all that. That man had about 2 acres of land or something. And local farmer, I was talking to him, and I asked him, how many crops do you get in a year? He said about 3 crops we take out. And if we work a little harder, maybe 1 more crop we can take out. So I said, how do you cultivate the land? Because the fertility of the land will go down. Every time you take a crop, the fertility will go down. How do you manage that? He said, every crop, I cultivate half the land. Only half the land that I have, I cultivate. Balanced land, I put some grass and leave it for the cows to graze. And next season, I will reverse. So the portion which I cultivated, I will leave it for the cows, and the other portion which the cows were grazing, I will use for cultivation. So this way what happens, my soil is always fertile, and for me no problem. So you see, cow-based agriculture is so crucial. If you don't have cows, then what will happen? You will have to use chemical fertilizers. And chemical fertilizers, pesticides, we know, they are all carcinogenic. Not only that, this year, if you put 100 grams of fertilizer into the ground to get a particular amount of produce from the field, next this one year or next cycle, you will have to put 110 grams, 120 grams. Every cycle you will have to keep increasing the quantity of fertilizer to be able to take out the same amount of produce. So what happens? Eventually, the cost of the fertilizer that you need, the quantum of the fertilizer and its cost will become so high that agriculture will become unsustainable. And that is how you will see so many farmers are committing suicide. Why? Because it has become uneconomical. In the olden times, farmers were not committing suicide. Farmers were all very opulent, and they had comfortable life. At least even if they did not have money, they would not starve. They would not be in debt. Why? Because they have a cow, and the cow takes the cow dung, the cow grazing, all that takes care of the fertility. They don't have to spend money to buy fertilizers. So cows are so important, so essential for our sustenance. This we have to understand. And Krishna, because Krishna understands the importance of the cows, Krishna has always, in his leelas, he is always grazing the cows, and always you will see Krishna is with the cows. So, Krishna's appearance, Krishna appeared on this planet 5,000 years ago, little more than 5,000 years ago. But Krishna's appearance is not limited like our appearance. We are limited by space and time. We take birth once, our birth rate is fixed. After that, you cannot change it. Suppose you are born on 28th of February, then once in 4 years only you will have birthday. You cannot help it. Now we cannot change your birth rate. So, but then, our birth rate may be limited like that. But Krishna's appearance, he is not limited like that. Krishna can appear anywhere, in whatever way, at whatever time, whatever location he wants. Krishna appeared in Mathura 5,000 years ago as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. But today, if you want, again Krishna will appear for you. Just like Krishna has appeared in Dakshina Dwarka Dham on the day of Vasanta Panchami in 2 years back, 2023. So Krishna appeared. So we celebrate Krishna Janmashtami when Krishna appeared on this planet 5,000 years ago. And we are also celebrating today Krishna's appearance again on Vasanta Panchami day. You see how it is? This is Krishna's opulence, Krishna's omnipotence. Krishna can appear multiple times in multiple forms. And you will see many, many Krishna temples are there. You go to Kerala, there is Guru Ayappan temple. Here in Triplicane you go, there is a Parthasarathi temple. All over the country, all over the world, there are so many Krishna temples. Everywhere Krishna is present. We can be present only in one location at a given point of time, isn't it? If you are all here in Dakshina Dwarkadham today, right now, you cannot be present in another location. But Krishna, simultaneously, he is present in millions of places, hundreds and thousands of temples he is present simultaneously. This is the opulence of God. That is why Krishna is God. We cannot be like that. We are limited. Therefore, we are conditioned living entities. We are infinitesimal living entities, Jivatmas, whereas Krishna is Paramatma. Because he can be present simultaneously, multiple places, multiple times. There is no restriction for him. He is not limited in any way. So, our bathing, Krishna, Rukmani, Satyabhama, Krishna Balram, Gaur Nitai, Prabhupada, it is not some blind ritual. Actually, Krishna has appeared in a form which we can see. Otherwise, Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavayet grahyam indriyaihi. It is not possible for common people to be able to perceive Krishna. The Upanishads also state, Nahi sandrishe tishtati rupamasya. It is not possible for us to see Krishna with our material eyes. In fact, we cannot even see ourselves. We can see our body. So if we see a photograph of ours when we were in childhood, maybe 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years back, the body, the features will be completely different. Today, your features after 20 years, 30 years will be completely different. But are you a different person? No, you are not a different person. You look at the photograph, you will tell, that is also me. You look at your present physical form, you will say, this is also me. Why? Because you had the body of the child some time back. Now you are having a youthful body or an old body or whatever it is. So, actually what are we seeing? We are seeing only the body. We see the photograph and tell, this is me. But today, if you look at the mirror, it will be completely different. So, are you the child or are you the young person or are you the old person? Actually, you are none of these things. All these things are the body. So, actually, we are not seeing even ourselves. We cannot see the soul. We are Atma. We are residing within this body. This body, yantra rodani maya. This body is like an instrumental. It's like a vehicle. Just like you get into a car, you roll up all the windows and suppose it is all dark tinted. You cannot make out who is sitting inside the car. Car is moving. You cannot see who is inside. But you can make out somebody is there inside. Otherwise, car cannot move, no. So similarly, this vehicle of the body is also moving. But we are not able to see who is seated inside and driving this vehicle. But that does not mean that we are the body. We are different from the body. So, we have been all through our life, we see the body and we think this is me. But what is the reality? We are not the body, we are within the body. We are residing within the body. We are tenants within the body. But we have never seen ourselves. When somebody who is very near and dear to us passes away, he dies, what do we see? We look at his body and tell what to do, he left us. Body is lying there, hands are there, legs are there, the same face is there, all the features are there. But we see, no, this is not my friend, this is not my dear person, this is a dead body. My friend is gone. Whole life you are looking at the dead body, looking at that body and you are thinking this is that person. But when the person dies, you understand, no, this is just the body, the person who was occupying the body has gone. So where is that person who occupied the body? Have you seen him? We have not seen him. We are unable to see him. So, if the ordinary soul, Atma, we are not able to see, how can we see the Paramatma? It is not possible. But then, because we cannot see Paramatma, then does it mean that Krishna will never reveal himself? No, if you have devotion to Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself. Sevon mukhehi jihvado swayam meva spuratyada. Although Krishna is not perceivable to our eyes, still Krishna will appear before us if we render devotional service to him, beginning with chanting his holy name. So, when we begin devotional service to Krishna with bhakti to Krishna, when we chant Krishna's holy name, then Krishna will manifest before us. So Krishna manifests before us in the form of the Archa Vigraha, the deity of Krishna. So Krishna's original form we may not be able to see, but Krishna takes a form like metal, or Krishna takes a form like a stone, or Krishna takes a form like wood, which we can see, and then Krishna appears before us. So why should Krishna appear before us? What is the necessity? Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna says the prime duty of every human being is to offer obeisances to Krishna. Mam namaskuru. Madhyaji, the prime duty of every human being is to worship Krishna. How do you worship Krishna? You have to offer arti to him, you have to offer dress to him, you have to offer bhoga, naivedya to him. These are the ways to worship him. So if you cannot see Krishna, how can you offer all these things? So in order to receive our worship, Krishna takes the form of a deity, of an archa vigraha, and he appears before us. And that is how Krishna, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Gaur Nitai, they have all appeared before us in order so that we can render them loving devotional service. So this is the compassion of Krishna upon us. Krishna is not obliged to come before us. But because we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are chanting Krishna's holy name, and we are following the instructions of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, then Krishna becomes ready to accept our service, and therefore he takes on a form which we can see and which we can worship, whom we can dress, whom we can feed. All these things we can do. And we can do Abhishek also for him. We can bathe him, we can feed him, we can dress him. All these things are possible when Krishna comes before us as the Archa Vigraha. So therefore, on this wonderful occasion of the appearance of Krishna, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Gaur Nitai, and Krishna Balaram, this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to remember that the Supreme Lord has appeared before us to receive our worship. And the best way to worship him is to chant his holy names. The realization, the ability to perceive Krishna begins with chanting, begins with the use of the tongue in the service of Krishna. So this is very important, because we normally think, if I have to understand something, if I have to perceive something, I have to first see with my eyes. This is what we normally think. But what is the reality? Our vision, our eyes, the vision of our eyes is very limited. If you look at the sun appears like 12 or 15 inches diameter, one plate is hanging in the sky, bright torch. That is all it appears, isn't it? But actually, what is the diameter of the sun? It is so many thousands of miles in diameter. But with our eyes, can we measure? Can we understand what is the dimension of the sun? Not possible. Our eyes are so limited. Beyond this wall, what is there? We don't know. We cannot see. If we switch off all the lights here and it becomes pitch dark, you will not be able to see anything. You have the eyes, but you will not be able to see. So your eyes are limited in so many ways. There are radio waves, there are magnetic waves, there are so many infrared radiation, etc., which we cannot see with our eyes. But does that mean it does not exist? They are all existing. So with our eyes are very limited. For us to perceive everything is not possible. But still, even though when we see the sun is limited to a small ball of fire, but still we can understand what is the actual dimension of the sun, what is the diameter of the sun. How? If we hear from our teachers in science, they tell us, or we hear from our textbooks that this is the diameter of the sun, then we can understand, oh, this is the diameter of the sun. So hearing is a better way of understanding and perceiving knowledge than seeing with our own eyes. Seeing with our own eyes also brings some amount of knowledge, but it is very limited. We cannot depend on our eyes alone to understand everything that goes on in this world. So the highest knowledge in this world is to know God. So if you want to know God, it's not possible with our eyes. It is possible with your ears. If you hear from the proper source, from an authoritative source, then you can understand what are the characteristics of God, what is His name, where is His residence, what is His form, etc. Everything we can understand. This is possible only by hearing. Just like if you want to understand medical science, if you want to become a doctor, if you want to be able to diagnose patients, first you should learn the science of medical science from a professor in a college. You have to go to an authorized college and study the subject matter from an authorized teacher. You cannot say that I'll go to the shop, pick up all the textbooks on medicine and I will learn it and I'll become a doctor. You cannot become a doctor like that. Although the same books are taught in the college, you have to go to the college and study the same textbooks under an authorized professor. Only then you will be declared to be an authorized doctor. Otherwise, you cannot become a doctor. You cannot become a lawyer. You cannot become an engineer. You cannot become anything in this world unless you have studied the subject under an authorized professor in an authorized college. This is the way of acquiring knowledge. And that is why Krishna also tells in the Bhagavad Gita, when we have to understand the spiritual subject matter, if we have to understand Bhagavad Gita, if we have to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. We have to hear about this subject matter from an acharya, from a guru coming in a guru shishya, bona fide guru shishya parampara. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. Only then we can understand Krishna. So, to realize, to understand God, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what are His characteristics, what is my relationship with Him, what is my connection with Him, if you have to understand all this, you have to hear. And you have to hear from whom? You have to hear from an authorized acharya coming in a bona fide parampara. Only then you will be able to understand and realize that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who He is, who we are, and what is our relationship with Him. Actually, if you see the entire Vedic scriptures, all the knowledge that is covered comes under three classifications. It is meant to give you three pieces of knowledge: Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. The Vedic scriptures, all of it is aiming to give you the knowledge. First knowledge it gives you is Sambandha. What is your relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna? And once you understand who that Supreme Personality of Godhead is, who I am, and what is my relationship with Him, once you have understood that Sambandha, next comes Abhideya. Now I know who is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of everything. He is the Supreme Creator. He is the Supreme Father. And Mama Ivamsho Jivaloke Jivabhuta Sanatana, Krishna says, we are all eternally His part and parcel. We are His children. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham bija pradah pita sarva yonishu kaunteya. Not only human beings, even plants, animals, trees, all of them, they are all living entities, are children of Krishna. Krishna is the seed-giving Father. So once we understand that, then what happens? We have to have activities in that relationship. So this is called Abhideya. We render devotional service to Krishna. Then comes the final thing, Sambandha, Abhideya, our connection, our relationship with Krishna, activities in that relationship. Then Prayojana, what is the result of performing that devotional service? The result of performing such devotional service to Krishna is developing love for Krishna and going back to Godhead, going back to Vaikuntha Loka, which is free from the problems of birth, death, disease and old age, which plagues everyone within this material world. Irrespective of who one is. One may be the President of America, one may be a coolie in the street, one may be the richest man in the world. Whatever you are, all of us have to undergo the stringent laws of material nature. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. These dukkhas, these miseries do not spare anyone. Oh, this is a small child. No, let us not give any disease for this child. No, child will also fall sick. Children will also die. This is an old person. Poor fellow is already suffering. Why give him disease? No, disease will come, death will come. You cannot stop it. Birth, death, disease and old age. These four miseries do not spare anyone. So, the only place we can become free from all these four problems is in Vaikuntha Loka or in Goloka Vrindavan, which is the spiritual world. So, to go there, to achieve a life of Amrita, to achieve a life free from the miseries of birth, death and disease and old age is the final result of our developing our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and rendering devotional service to Him. So, to give us that opportunity to liberate ourselves from this material world and become free from the all the distresses and sorrows that we have to, and the sufferings that we have to face in the material world, Krishna very compassionately, very lovingly, He takes a form whom we can see and we can worship, so that we can develop our relationship with Him and we can go back to Godhead. So this is the essence of having a deity in the temple, worshipping Him, having festivals like this, doing an Abhishekam. The Lord, He is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, irrespective of whether you worship Him, don't worship Him, believe in Him, don't believe in Him. Reality is He will always remain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is not dependent upon us. Just like when Krishna was personally present on this earth, there were so many people who do not accept Him as God. People like Kamsa, Duryodhana, they did not accept Him as God. But did that diminish Krishna's position in any way? No. Krishna remained the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for those who recognized Krishna as the Supreme Lord, whether it was the Pandavas, whether it was Kunti, whether it was Draupadi, for all of them, their life was their life was full of complete freedom from being affected by the miseries which were imposed upon them by material nature. Externally, it might seem that the Pandavas underwent so much distresses, but internally, they were never affected by any of these things. So, to become free from the influence of material nature, to become free from the miseries which are constantly harassing everyone within the material world, Krishna comes. He wants to lovingly show His compassion upon all of us, and that is why He descends as the Archa Vigraha, as the deity form, and gives us an opportunity to worship Him by recognizing Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, doing Abhishek for Him, doing Aarti for Him, offering Naivedya to Him, offering garlands, offering dresses, etc. for Him. So let us take this opportunity to remember this and develop our relationship with Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And I will request Mukund Madhav Prabhu to lead all of us in chanting one mala of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Those of you who are new to chanting Hare Krishna Mantra, this is an opportunity to learn how to chant the Hare Krishna Mantra and make it a practice to chant Hare Krishna Mantra every day in your life. If you are already chanting, very good. You can increase the number of rounds you are chanting, and this way your relationship with Krishna will become stronger and your path back to Godhead will become far more wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Shri Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.